we'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. We are discussing from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and last time we discussed about the advent of Lord Krishna, what was the background, how Mother Earth, when she was overburdened with the demoniac powers, then she went to Brahmaji, and then Brahmaji along with all the devatas, they went to Krishna. And Krishna, they went to Shirodaksha Vishnu basically, and Shirodaksha Vishnu, he conveyed the message to Brahmaji that you tell all the devatas that I am already aware of the problems, and I will surely advent and I will reduce the burden of the earth. And he told the devatas that you all please appear in the family of Yadus and Vrishnis along with your wives. And that was the background. And then Shukadeva Goswami, he describes how Vasudeva, the son of Shurasena, when he was about to get married, and then as he got married to Devaki, Kamsa, the brother of Devaki, who was so very affectionate, but when he heard that Akashvani, that the 8th son of Devaki will kill him, he became very, very angry and he imprisoned. And then Vasudeva somehow he pacified Kamsa and negotiated that he will give all the sons, all the children who will be born in future. And then Vasudeva, when the first child was born, he, to follow his promise, to keep his promise, he went and gave that child to Kamsa. Kamsa, seeing the honesty and truthful nature of Vasudeva, he said, I don't have to fear this child. So please take back this child. Vasudeva, he came back along with the child, but he did not trust the words of Kamsa, because a demoniac person should never be trusted. So Narad Muni, then he thought that if Kamsa does not kill these children, then the appearance of Krishna will be delayed. And we saw so many of the reasons why Narad Muni went and told Kamsa that actually all the devatas, they have descended in the family of Yadus, and I had heard personally, Narad Muni tells Kamsa, I have heard that all the devatas, they were planning how to annihilate the demons headed by you. Then Kamsa, he becomes very angry. He kills all the children. The 6 children were born and 1 daughter was born, 6 sons and 1 daughter. Kamsa killed all of them. And then he imprisoned arrested Vasudev, Devaki. That's what we discussed yesterday. So now we'll start with the second chapter, which is entitled as the prayers by the Devatas, by the demigods for Lord Krishna in the womb. So Shukdeva Goswami says that uh, uh, after imprisoning Kamsa, Vasudev, Devaki, and even his own father, Kamsa, because he was protected by his father-in-law Jarasandha, because the wives of Kamsa, they were the daughters of Jarasandha, and Jarasandha, he was very, very powerful. So Kamsa, under the protection of Jarasandha, he started persecuting all the kings of the Yadu dynasty, many of the kings. And in this prosecution, actually, this Kamsa, he was so very powerful that he was, having the cooperation of all the demons. Generally we don't hear about the uh, exploits of Kamsa, how powerful he was. But we can just imagine the power of Kamsa by the associates of Kamsa. So Kamsa, he went around the universe and he defeated the most powerful demons and then made a deal with them. And all these demons headed by Pralambasur, Bakasur, Chanur, Mushtik, Aghasur, Trinavarth, Putana, Keshi, all the demons, they were subordinates of Kamsa. So we can just imagine what was the power of Kamsa. So this Kamsa, with the help of all these demons, he started destroying, killing, persecuting all the Yadu kings. So because the Yadus, they were persecuted, many of them left the kingdom and they went to various provinces, like they went to Panchal, Kaikai, then Shalvas, Vidarbha, Nishada, Videha, all these provinces they went. Some of them, they remained. Some of the Yadus, they remained and they followed the instructions of Kamsa. One of them was Akrura. So this creates a question, why did Akrura stay with Kamsa? Akrura was such a wonderful devotee of the Lord. Why did he stay with Kamsa? So Srila Prabhupada, he describes the reasons why Akrura, he chose to stay with Kamsa, because Akrura and some more of the Yadu kings, they were eagerly waiting for the descent of Lord. And they knew for sure that Lord is going to appear from the womb of Devaki, and they were waiting to have the darshan of the Lord. Because they knew that Akashvani, the voice has said that 8th son will be the Supreme Lord and he will kill the Kamsa. All these Yadu kings who stayed with Kamsa, they were just waiting for the appearance of Krishna. And then Akrura, he was in this desperation. He was serving Kamsa that he would get a chance to see Krishna. And of course, we also know that Akrura was the one who was chosen by Kamsa to be sent to Vrindavan to get Krishna and Balram. So, as all these things were happening, so Krishna, Lord Vishnu, personally Krishna, he ordered Yogmaya. So Yogmaya, she is the internal potency of the Lord. And we have discussed yesterday also that there are some activities which are performed by Yogamaya and some activities are performed by Mahamaya. So Krishna, he ordered Yogamaya to come and he instructed Yogamaya. He said, you please go, O Devi, O Bhadre, please go to Vraja. Please go to Vrindavan. In that beautiful land of Vrindavan, Rohini is staying. So Rohini is living in the home of Nanda Maharaj, and along with Rohini, there were some other wives of Vasudev. They were also staying with Nanda Maharaj incognito. So he says, Gaccha Devi Vrajam Bhadre Gopagophe Ralankritam Rohini Vasudevasya Bharyaste Nanda Gokule Anyasha Kansa Samvigna Vivareshu Vasantihi. Anyasha Kamsa Samvigna. There are many people who are so very tormented because of the atrocities of Kamsa, and they are staying incognito. Vivareshu literally means holes, They are staying in very secluded places, secret places where Kamsa could not reach. So Krishna, he ordered Yogmaya. He said, "O Devi, please go to Vrindavan and without any difficulty, please transfer Sankarshan or Shesha, who is my plenary expansion, and now currently he is there in the womb of Devaki. Devakya Jathare Garbham Sheshakhyam Dham Mamakam Tat Sannikarsha Rohinya Udare Sanniveshaya." Dham Mamakam. This is a very important word. Dham Mamakam. Who is Balram? Balram is my personal plenary expansion. That's what Krishna is saying. So he's saying, please go and transfer Balram, Shesha, Shankarshan from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. So very interesting purport is written by Prabhupada, and Chakravarti Thakur also writes very wonderful insights. So Prabhupada writes that actually Devaki, she was in constant fear of Kamsa's prosecution. And because of this fear of Kamsa, she was getting purified. So he says that, we are in second chapter. So second chapter, we are on now 8th verse. So Prabhupada writes that a pure devotee should always fear material association. For that matter, any devotee. A devotee should always be fearful of material association. That should be a healthy fear, not that we are psyched up thinking about, I'll get contaminated, I'll get bound up. We should have healthy fear. We should not become insane, always, remaining fearful. We should have a healthy fear of Maya. That's what Prabhupada would say always. My devotees, they don't fear Maya enough. And for that matter, in today's day and age where social media and internet is so very prevalent, even as devotees, many times we, go into all these things without even realizing the, great danger. Because all these things, they are empowered by material energy. And they have the tendency to bring us down, bring our consciousness to the lowest of the levels. One time, Srila Prabhupada, he spoke in a class that Maya can never touch me. Everybody said, Jai Prabhupada, And then after class, Prabhupada was standing in front of the deities, and he was praying. Very intensely he was praying. So one devotee, he asked Prabhupada, what are you praying? So Prabhupada, he said, I am praying that Maya should not touch me. So this devotee became confused. He said, Prabhupada, just now you said in the class that Maya can never touch you. And now you are praying. How should I understand this? So Prabhupada said, actually, because I am praying, that's why Maya will not touch me. Every devotee should have a healthy fear of Maya. We should always be aware that I should do this and I should not do this, Because when we are not fearful of Maya, then we think, okay, I can enter this just like a kabaddi match, If a person is strong, he can go and he can, bring 2-3 also. But if a person is weak, what he has to do? His job is just to touch the line and come back. So Prabhupada was like a heavyweight champion who could go in the den of Maya and bring all the people to Krishna consciousness. So we have to judge our level and act accordingly. We should not unnecessarily take risks in life. We already have enough things to worry about, you know. So Prabhupada writes, somebody may question that how Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental, how can he enter into the womb of Devaki, which is already previously entered by six children, and these six children, they were six asuras in the past life. Does this mean that the shad garbha asura, they were equal to the Lord? How is it that? How to understand this? So Chakravarti Thakur and Prabhupada also answered this very wonderfully. He says, just as the material universe exists within the Supreme Lord, but does not affect the Lord. Similarly, all the six children, they appeared in the womb of Devaki, they did not contaminate the womb of Devaki. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu avastitah. You know. So therefore, who were the six sons of this, who were the Shad Garbhas? So I've heard that these Shad Garbhas, they were the six sons of Kal Nemi. Why these people came as sons of Kal Nemi? There is a further history to it. So the Marichi, there was a great sage Marichi. We heard in the third canto that Brahma, when he started doing the secondary creation, then he created 10 sages out of his various bodily parts. And Marichi was created out of his mind, out of mind of Brahma. So Marichi married a lady called Urna, and he had six sons. So these six sons, they are like the sun, they are coming from the mind basically. So Marichi is an expansion of the mind of Brahma, and the six sons, they are the sons of the mind. So one day it so happened that, we have heard the story that Brahmaji once got attracted to his own daughter, and these six sons of Marichi, they started laughing at Brahmaji. And Brahmaji, he cursed them to become, you are behaving like a demon, you become a demon. So that's how they were born as the sons of Kalnemi. So just like these six children, they were the sons of Marichi. They are the six children of mind. They are the six anarthas: lust, anger, greed, pride, intelligence, and illusion. Pride, lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, and illusion. So these are the six sons of the mind. So these anarthas, they contaminate the mind. But this Devaki, she is compared to Bhakti Devi. Kamsa is the material fear. Because Devaki, she was always fearful of Kamsa. A devotee should always be fearful of the material entanglement. And because of this fear of material entanglement, what will happen? All the anarthas, they'll be destroyed, just like these six sons were destroyed. And then Bhakti takes birth. Then Krishna takes birth. But before Krishna takes birth, who comes? Balramji comes. So Balramji is the representative of spiritual master. Spiritual master enters our lives, purify our heart, so that our heart becomes a proper place for Krishna to appear. So that is the explanation which is given by Chakravarti Thakur. So Krishna, he told all these things to Yogamaya. He says, "O all auspicious lady, I will appear personally with all my six opulences as the son of Devaki, and you appear as the daughter of Yashoda." Actually, when Yogamaya, she heard this very difficult task of transferring Balram from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, she was a little apprehensive because she was not able to understand how is it possible? How can I do it? It is a very difficult task. So Krishna, he says, "Oh Bhadre, oh all auspicious one, don't worry about it. By my power, you will be able to do it. Be blessed. Take power from me and you will be able to do it." So Yogamaya, when she when she gets all these instructions, so Shukdev Goswami says that, how does this Yogamaya work? He says Yogamaya, when she was, uh, she came and transferred the womb of Devaki to Rohini, and she took birth as the daughter of Yashoda. She personally did not appear as Yogamaya. The expansion of Yogamaya appeared as the daughter of Rohini, and that was Mahamaya. Because Yogamaya cannot be called as Durga, and the daughter of Rohini, she was Durga Devi. So the expansion of Yogamaya, the Mahamaya, she was taken by Vasudev. So then, after this, Krishna tells, you will be known by different names in different places. People will worship you, and by your worship, they will get whatever they desire. He says that, you'll be known by different names. In Varanasi, you'll be known by the name Durga. In Avanti, you'll be known by the name Bhadrakali. Odisha, you'll be known by the name Vijaya. And he says in Kolhapur, Kolhapur is our Kolhapur. In Kolhapur, you'll be known by the names Vijaya and, Vaishnavi and Mahalakshmi. And similarly, he gives the names. In Kanyakumari, you'll be known as Kanyaka. So that's what is described by Chakravarti Thakur. And then Krishna tells Yogamaya that Balram, he will be known by 3 names. He'll be known by Sankarshan because he was sent from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. He will be called by the name Sankarshan. He will be also called by the name Ram because of his ability to give happiness to all the inhabitants of Gokula. And he will also be called by the name Balabhadra, because of his extensive physical strength. So, Yogamaya, when she heard these instructions from her master, she immediately agreed. She said, "So be it. Yes, sir, I shall execute your order." She said, "So be it." And she vibrated the mantra Om, to confirm that, yes, I'll do it. She circumambulated the Lord and she went to the pious place of Braja or Gokul. So first she accepted the words, she did parikrama, and then she went to Gokul. So Chakravarti Thakur, he describes what happened actually when this Yogamaya, she transferred the Balram from Devaki to Rohini. So Rohini, she was also in the deep sleep in the middle of the night. She got a dream. Just like Devaki got a dream that she had a miscarriage, Rohini also got a dream that she had miscarriage. Because what had happened, actually when Rohini, she went to Gokul, she was already pregnant. Vasudev, he had already impregnated her. So Rohini, she got a dream that she had a miscarriage. She opened her, she was in complete anxiety. She woke up and she saw that actually she had a miscarriage. Then actually Yogamaya appeared in front of her and she said, "Don't worry, I have extracted this womb and I will be putting the 7th son of Devaki, Lord Balram, in your womb." So that was the background. So Shukdev Goswami continues. So Yogamaya, she transferred the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, and everybody thought that Devaki had a miscarriage. Actually, all the citizens, they thought that, this Kamsa must have used some black magic, and that's how Devaki had a miscarriage, because he already wanted to, he always wanted to kill the children of Devaki. So they all began to lament out of affection for Devaki. Jiva Goswami writes that actually Yogamaya, because Krishna told Yogamaya that you do it very nicely. So Yogamaya, she did it with such great skill that Devaki did not have any pain. She did not suffer. And Rohini also did not suffer because of the pain of miscarriage. And Rohini was not also astonished because Yogamaya, she told what is going to happen. So then, after all this thing was done, then Lord, he entered the mind of Vasudeva as the eighth child. Bhagavan api vishwatma bhaktanam abhayankarah avivesham sabhagena manah anakadundubhe. So Shukdev Goswami says, Bhagavan api vishwatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is Vishwa Atma, he is the super soul of all the living entities. Bhaktanam abhayankara, this is very important. Bhaktanam abhayankara, one who vanquishes all the fear of his devotees. So that is the merciful nature of the Lord. He always wants to make his devotees fearless. And therefore, avivesham bhagena, with all his opulence, with his 6 opulences, Lord first entered the mind of Vasudeva. Mana Anakadundube. So Vasudeva is called Anakadundubi. Anakadundubi means when Vasudeva took birth, then the Devtas, they resounded Dundubi. Dundubi means the kettle drums. And he was called to be most fortunate. So Lord first entered the mind of Vasudeva. So Prabhupada writes in all these purports elaborately how Lord is not born like an ordinary child. Father impregnates the mother, and then child takes birth, and it is an ordinary process. But in the case of Lord, it did not happen like that. It was not the discharge of semen, and that was the cause of the child. No. Prabhupada writes, actually, this is not astonishing, because Lord is already there within the mind of everybody. So what is the problem for the Lord to manifest there? He is already there. He just revealed himself to Vasudeva. And then when Vasudeva, he actually realized the presence of the Lord, what happened to him? Sabibhrat paurusham dhama bhrajamano yatharavihi durasado ati durdarsho bhutanam sambabhuvaha. Very wonderfully it is described. Sabibhrat paurusham dhama. Vasudeva was carrying the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his mind. And because of that, he was bhrajamano. Bhrajamano means he was looking effulgent. He was transcendently effulgent, just like the sun. He was as bright as sun. And Prabhupada would tell many times, to the guests that, oh, just see my disciples, because they are practicing devotional service. Many of the people, they tell that, Swamiji, your disciples are bright-faced. And Prabhupada would be so very proud, saying this. Because that is how Krishna is manifesting in the lives of devotees. Bhrajamano yatharavi. Durasado ati durdarsho. Durasada means, although Lord, he is unapproachable, ati durdarsho, and he was informidable to Kamsa. you know, because Vasudeva was carrying the Lord. Vasudeva also became informidable to Kamsa. Kamsa could not do any harm to Vasudeva. Bhutanam sambhabuvaha, and this happened very prominently. Kamsa could see. Then what happened? Tato jaganmangalamachyutam samahitam shurasutena devi dadhara sarvatmakamatma bhutam kashtha yathanandakaram manastaha. Then Lord, from the mind of Vasudeva, transferred himself to the heart of Vasudeva. And there, he was there with all the plenary expansions, fully opulent. So Krishna, whenever Krishna appears personally, all the expansions of the Lord are there. So personally, Supreme Lord with all his expansions, they were there in the mind of Vasudeva. And then Lord transferred himself to the heart of Vasudeva. From the heart of Vasudeva, Samahitam Shura Sutena Devi, he was transferred to the he transferred himself to the mind of Devaki, and then to the heart, and then ultimately to the womb of Devaki. So Prabhupada writes a very interesting word there. Dadhara sarvatmakam atma bhutam. Prabhupada writes, Devaki was initiated by Vasudeva. It was not an ordinary conception which happens in today's world. It was an initiation. Because Lord is already there in the heart of everybody, and Vasudeva revealed that Krishna, revealed that Lord to Devaki. That is what happens at the time of initiation. Spiritual master reveals the Lord, gives the proper path so that a disciple can realize the Lord. And he gives the example. Shukdev Goswami gives an example. Kashtha yathananda karam manastaha. Just like the east becomes very beautiful when sun rises, similarly, Devaki also became very, very beautiful. Sa Devaki sarva jagan nivasa bhutam nitaram nareje bhojendra gehe agni shikhe varuddha saraswati jnana khale yatha sati. Another very beautiful verse. Sa Devaki sarva jagan nivasa. That Supreme Lord who is Jagan Nivasa, who is the abode of entire universe, Devaki became the abode of that Supreme Lord, who is Jagan Nivasa, who is the cause of all causes. Bhojendra Gehe, but because she was under the arrest of Kamsa, she was looking like Agni Shikheva Ruddha. She was looking like the flame of fire which is covered by the walls of a pot. If a fire is put in the pot, the fire cannot be seen. Saraswati Jnana Khale Yathasati. Or she was looking like a person who has knowledge, but he does not give that knowledge to others. This is a very important line, and Prabhupada elaborates on this line. Saraswati Jnana Khale Yathasati. If somebody has knowledge and is not distributing to the world, he is a khala. He is a impudent person. He is not a saintly personality. And Prabhupada writes, and before that we'll see Chakravarti Thakur. Chakravarti Thakur, he writes that actually, just like when Krishna was there in the heart and the womb of Devaki, only few person could appreciate her condition. Just like fire which is covered in a pot, only few people nearby they can see, they can sense the presence of the fire. Similarly, Devaki, because she was in a prison, the presence of Lord was not manifested to everybody. Prabhupada writes, Jnana khala is the most significant word here. The knowledge is meant for distribution. So Prabhupada writes, although India has the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, but because of many unscrupulous political leaders, this knowledge was not distributed to everyone. And if the knowledge is not distributed, the knowledge gets destroyed, and knowledge destroys the person also who is not using it properly. Therefore, every person in the ISKCON movement, every person of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness should try to preach this message. Prana chayar jehetu prachar. Yar dekho tarak ho Krishna Padesh. Amar agyay guru hoya tare desh. So preaching is the most important thing, as it is said always many times. Preaching is the essence. We don't have to become PhD scholars of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita and all the Shat Sandarbhas to preach. Only thing which is required is desire. If we desire, then Krishna will empower. As Prabhupada would always say, that I am not such a scholar like my god brothers. And it was a fact that many of the disciples of Saraswati Thakur, they were very, very scholarly. But Prabhupada would always say, I had only one qualification. I am following the words of my spiritual master. What was that? Just go and preach this message of Bhagavad Gita to the Western world in the English language. And Prabhupada had an intense desire. So therefore, whatever knowledge we have got, we should try to share this with others. Prabhupada writes that Kamsa tried to arrest Krishna consciousness within his house, in a very wonderful words. Kamsa tried to arrest Krishna consciousness within his house, Bhojendra Gehe, and he met with the result and was vanquished. Similarly, the real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was choked up by unscrupulous Indian leaders, and the knowledge was lost. But now Krishna consciousness movement is reviving this knowledge. So Prabhupada has always the mood of preaching. So after this, what happened to Kamsa? Kamsa, he could see Devaki's effulgence. Tam vikshya Kamsa prabhaya jitantaram virochayantim bhavanam shuchi smitam आहेश में प्राण हरो हरि गुहाम ध्रुवम श्रितोयम न पुरेयमिदृशि. Again, very beautifully, Shukdev Goswami is describing the condition of Kamsa. Tam vikshya Kamsaha. Kamsa could see Prabhaya. He could see the effulgence which was coming from the womb of Krishna, of Devaki. Ajita Antaram. He could understand that Supreme Personality is there in the womb of Devaki. Why? Virochayantim, although the prison house, which was so very dark, but because of the presence of the Lord, the entire prison was effulgent. Virochayanti bhavanam and Shuchi Smitam. Two characteristics of Devaki are described, Shuchi and Smitam. She became pure and she became jubilant. That is the power of Krishna consciousness. A devotee by nature becomes jubilant. Because that is the nature of Hari Katha, that is the nature of Bhakti. Kevala Ananda Kanda, Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Some of us may think, what pleasure. Anyways, I have to do my job, take care of the family, and then on top of that, Sola Mala bhi karna hai, and then 4 niyam hai, and association of devotees, so many services. What pleasure is there? So till the time we don't develop that stage, Prabhupada always said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. These are two separate instructions. Till the time we don't come to that level, we have to be happy. And of course, in due course of time, Krishna gives that happiness. And all of us, we have experienced happiness. That's why we are here. All of us, we have tasted the rasa of bhakti. That's why we are still here hanging on. Otherwise, why we spend our time hearing, chanting, and doing all the difficult things of bhakti? It is not so easy to do it. It is simple but not easy. Shuchi Smitam. Ahe Shame Pran Haro Hari Guham. He could understand. Aha Isha. Definitely Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari is there in the womb of Devaki. Because Dhruvam Shritoyam Napureyam Idrishi. Dhruvam, definitely he is there. Why? I have never seen Devaki to be so effulgent and beautiful and happy. You know. So Prabhupada writes another wonderful purport. He says, Krishna has taken birth and taken shelter in our Krishna consciousness movement. And that's why devotees, they are naturally happy and blissful. Then Kamsa, he started thinking. He thought, now what is my duty? I know the Supreme Lord. He will never, give up his prowess. He has taken a vow to protect his devotees, to establish the principles of religion, and he will not give up his prowess. But this Devaki, she is a woman. She is my sister, and on top of that, she is pregnant. If I kill Devaki, what will happen? I'll lose my reputation, I'll lose all my opulences, and my lifespan will be reduced. Then he thinks, if I kill Devaki in this condition, I will have to spend my entire life in misfortune. Because a person who kills a sister, women, and pregnant people and lady and old men, they are considered to be very cruel and they are considered to be dead. And people, they will condemn me, they will blame me. And then because of this sinful activity, I will have to go to hell. If I kill a child in the womb, I'll go to hell. Interestingly, in the previous times, even demons, they would not kill the child in the womb because they also knew how sinful it is to kill the child in the womb, which is so very prevalent, so very common nowadays. So then, he is thinking what to do now. And Prabhupada writes, actually, a person who is a killer of a animal or a killer of innocent children, he is like a butcher. And butcher, for him, na jivo, na mara. It is said that, one time a sage met a devotee. He said, Jiova marova. For you, either you live or die, it is same. Because you are liberated in this life, and after this life, you will go to the spiritual world. And then he met a butcher. He said, Na jio, na maro. Because anyways, your life here is also hellish only. And after this life, you are going to hell also. So for you, both are same. Better you don't die, don't live. So therefore, Kamsa is thinking all these things. So Shukdev Goswami says, although Kamsa, he was determined to continue his enmity towards the Lord, but seeing all these things, he refrained. He refrained from killing Devaki, who was pregnant. And he decided to wait until the child was born. Jiva Goswami says, actually, Kamsa, he told his ministers, let this lady, let us count the months from Pushya, because that's when she became pregnant. So we'll very carefully count the months and we'll see the growth of the infant. And actually, all the ministers of Kamsa, they were also very careful to protect Devaki because Kamsa was waiting for this 8th child. he had done so many things just for this eighth child. So they wanted to be sure that the eighth child is born so that Kamsa could kill him or her, because they didn't know. So then what happened to Kamsa? Kamsa, he was always thinking about this child. Asina samvisham tishtan bhunjana paryatam mahim chintayano rishikesham apashyat tanmayam jagat. Very interesting, Krishna became actually Krishna conscious, even more than any of us maybe. Asina, as he was sitting down on his throne, he was lying down on his bed, he was roaming around, he was eating, whatever he was doing, Chintayano Rishikesham. He was always thinking of Krishna, Rishikesham. In this way, apashyat tanmayam, he became completely Krishna conscious. But was it devotion? No, it was not devotion, because it was not in a favorable attitude. As Rupa Goswami says, Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. Bhakti should be favorable for Krishna. Demons, they incidentally please Krishna. That is not bhakti. Incidental, giving incidental pleasure to Krishna is not bhakti. It should be intentional. Yashoda Mai was making Krishna to, because she was running behind Krishna. Krishna was crying. But Yashoda is the greatest of the devotee because she wanted welfare of Krishna. Here Kamsa, although he is also completely Krishna conscious, but he is thinking, how can I kill Krishna? That was his thought process. Now, as Lord was there in the womb of Devaki, all the Devatas, they started coming. Brahma, Shiva, and Indra, Chandra, Varuna, many great sages headed by Narada, Devala, Vyasa, everybody came just to offer their prayers and respects to the Supreme Personality who was there in the womb of Devaki. Actually, Jiva Goswami says that Narad Muni was the first to come. He came before others because he was so very happy, because he tried his best. He made all the attempts that Lord should appear very quickly. So he could not stop himself. He could not wait for others. He said, you come later, I am going. Because many times when we are going for some yatra or some place, okay, this person is coming, this person has come, okay, few are more yet to come. Nara said, I am not going to wait. He went. And then when the Devatas and the sages, they came there, they start offering beautiful, beautiful prayers. And this section, the remaining from 25 to 42 verses, they describe beautiful prayers of Devatas. Satyavratam satyaparam trisatyam satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye satyasya satyam rita satyanetram satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapannah. Satyavratam. O Lord, you never deviate from your vow. Lord has taken a vow to protect his devotees. He never deviates from his vow. Satya Param. You are always perfect. Whatever you decide is perfectly correct. Trisatyam. Trisatyam means you are always present even before creation, during the creation, and after annihilation. In all these three phases of existence, Lord is the only truthful truth, absolute truth. Satyasya yonim, and you are the cause of all the truths. Rita Satya Netram. Rita Satya Netra means whatever pleasing thing you are seeing in this world, Supreme Lord is the ultimate truth. Satyatmakam. Satyatmakam means whatever you see about the Lord is truth. His body is truth, his knowledge is truth, his pleasure is truth. Rest everything is illusion, false. Therefore, O my Lord, we surrender unto you. Satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapanna. So Prabhupada, he writes an elaborate purport explaining all these words in detail. Why he is called Satyavrata, why he is called Trisatya, why he is Satyasya Yoni, because he is the source of all the avatars. Satyasya Yoni, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. All the other avatars, they come from Krishna. Krishna is avatari. He is Satyasya Yoni. Three Satyam, Lord has three primary energies, Kriya Shakti, Bala Shakti and Jnana Shakti. Swabhaviki, Jnana, Bala, Kriya Cha. Then the Lord may ask this question. If I am Satya, then do you mean that this material world is false? The Devatas, they say, no. No, my Lord, this world is not false. The world is true, but it is temporary. And then they say, actually, what is this body? This body is very temporary manifestation. This is one body which is compared to our original tree. There are two fruits in this tree, the enjoyment and suffering. This tree has three roots, three modes of material nature. They are the root of this tree. Then the fruit has four types of taste. What are the four types of taste? Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha. Then, and it is experienced by five types of Indriyas. There are six circumstances. What are the six circumstances? Lamentation, illusion, old age, death, hunger and thirst. In this tree of this body, there are 7 layers of bark. What are the 7 layers? First of all, skin is there, then blood, muscle, fat, bone, marrow and semen. In this tree, there are 8 branches. The 8 branches are the 8 elements, 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements. In this tree of the body, there are 9 holes, and we know the 9 holes, the eyes, ears, nostrils, and etc. In this tree, the leaves, there are 10 leaves, which are the 10 years passing through this body. And in this tree, there are 2 birds, which are sitting, the soul and super soul. This tree of this material world, this tree of this material body, it is basically your energy. You are the source of creation, maintenance and destruction of this entire tree. And those who are covered by material energy, they actually cannot see you. But the devotees can see you, and devotees, they know that Lord is going to protect me. And Prabhupada in the purport, he elaborates on this point, how Lord protects his devotees. And devotees is always grateful for whatever they get. What is the purpose of Lord's advent? Lord advents in this world for the Shemaya Lokaya Characharasya, for the welfare of everyone, especially for the welfare of devotees. And then, what is the form of this protection? Now very interesting, very important verse, very beautiful verse, Devatas, they are praying. Tvam Tvayambujaksha Akhila Sattva-dhamni Samadhine Vasita Chetaseke Tvatpada-potena Mahatkritena Kurvanti Govats Padam Bhavabdim. It is, O my lotus-eyed Lord, Ambujaksha Akhila, you are Akhila Sattva Dhamni. You are the reservoir of all the existence. Samadhina Avishit Chetaseke. The devotees of the Lord, by meditating on your lotus feet, what happens to them? Tvat Pada Potena Mahatkritena. the devotees, by meditating on your lotus feet and by following in the footsteps of previous Mahajans, Kurvanti Govats Padam Bhavabdhim, for them, this entire material ocean, this Bhavasagar, becomes small like the water which is there in the hoof print of a calf. So this verse very strongly describes the power of taking shelter of devotees and worshipping the Supreme Lord, worshipping the Lord with devotion. Mahat Kritena is very important. So Prabhupada also writes in the purport that how we have to take shelter of the Mahajans. And because Mahajans, they are having the capacity to cross this ocean of material existence, by taking shelter of them, we can also cross. So great devotees are very, very important for us to come close to Krishna. And that's the importance of devotee association. Because the great devotees, they are not only concerned about themselves, they are concerned about others also. Then another very beautiful verse comes. Swayam samuttirya sudustaram duman bhavarnavam bhima madabra saurida bhavatpadambho ruhanavamatrate nidhaya yata sadanugraho bhavan. Then the Devatas, they further describe the merciful nature of the devotees of the Lord. Swayam samuttirya, devotees, they themselves very perfectly cross this sudustara. Sudustara means very, very difficult ocean of material existence. It is very perfectly crossed by the devotees. Sudustara. Duman, the word Duman is used, Duman means sun. Because you are shining like the sun, the devotees, they have kept you in their heart, and all the darkness in the heart of a devotee is dispelled by the sun of Krishna. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham evanukam partham aham ajnanajam tamah nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. I am there in the heart of my devotee, and I remove the darkness of ignorance which is there in the heart of my devotee. So Devatas, they are praying that the great devotees, what they do, they very perfectly cross this ocean of material existence. Bhava Arnava. Arnav means ocean. Bhava Arna means the material ocean. Bhavarnavam Bhimam. Bhimam means it is a very, very fierce ocean. But these devotees, they are Saurida. They are very compassionate. They are very merciful. They are well-wishers. So what they do? Bhavat padambho ruhanavamatrate. Because they are taking shelter of your lotus feet. And in the last verse, the Devatas, they said, anybody who takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, for him, this entire material existence becomes like a water which is there in the hoof print of a calf. And you don't need a boat to cross this. So devotees, they very easily, they cross this ocean, which is like a water in the hoof print of a calf. And then what they do? Nidhaya yata. They leave the boat behind on this side for us to cross. Sadanugraho bhavan, because they are very, very merciful, and you are very, very merciful. That is the merciful nature of devotees. And Prabhupada in the purport, he describes how only by the mercy of Guru and Krishna one can, Guru and the devotees and Krishna's mercy, one can get Bhakti Lata Bij. Guru Krishna Kripaye Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. So that is the wonderful nature of the devotees. Prabhupada writes a very interesting line in the purport. He says, the Acharya's duty is that to find the means by which the devotees may render service according to the scriptures and according to the natures. And Prabhupada was very expert in engaging people according to their natures. One time one devotee came and told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I am ready to do whatever you say. Please engage me in your service. Prabhupada asked him, so what do you want to do? He said, no, Prabhupada, I have no reservations. Whatever you say, I'll do. He said, no. Prabhupada said, I want you to decide what is the best thing which you can do. So then there was this devotee, he started thinking. He said, Prabhupada, I'll think about it and I'll come back. Next morning he came and said, Prabhupada, earlier I was very expert in casting things out of fiber. And now because our society is expanding and we need mridangas. Every time we have to get mridanga from Mayapur, and in the transportation the mridanga breaks. I want to make a fiber mridanga for devotees so that it will not break. Prabhupada said, yes, that is the best thing. Make the mridangas so strong that even if they throw it on the ground, it should not break. And your God brothers, they are very passionate, so do it. And that was the beginning of the fiber mridanga. So that's how Prabhupada is. Acharya engages a person according to the scriptures, according to the natures. And Chakravarti Thakur writes that Dyuman means that the son of Krishna does not rise in the heart of people who are materially contaminated. The son of Krishna rises in the heart of people who are pure. And therefore, they can easily cross this ocean and they can help others. Someone may say that, okay, aside from devotees, there are many people who have accepted other paths. What about them? What happens to them? Unka kya hoga? You are saying only devotees will cross this ocean? Arey, what about others? There are people who are speculators, mental speculators and jnanis. What will happen to them? Next verse, Devatas, the answer. Yanyarvindaksha vimukta manina tvayasta bhava avishuddha buddhayaha aruhya krichrena param padam tataha patanti adha anadrita yushmadangrayah. Very famous verse. Prabhupada must have quoted this verse hundreds of times. Arvindaksha, O lotus-eyed Lord, there are many who falsely consider themselves to be liberated. They consider themselves to be liberated. Vimukta manina. They are not actually liberated. He's talking about the jnanis, the impersonalists. Ye anye, there are others who consider themselves to be liberated. Tvayasta bhavat avishuddha buddhayaha. Asta bhava means they keep speculating in different ways, but they do not know the information of your lotus feet. They don't know anything about your lotus feet. Avishuddha buddhayaha. So therefore, their intelligence is contaminated, not purified. Then what happens to them? Aruhya krichrena param padam tataha. Although they rise to the highest level of Brahman, patanti adha, they fall down. Why? Anadrit yushmad angrayah. Because they have not taken shelter of your lotus feet. And in detail, Prabhupada and Chakravarti Thakur describes that even if a person is cultivating jnana, if that jnana is without bhakti, he will not get the result. It is like beating the empty husk of grain, empty husk of rice. Nothing will come out. Sthula tushava ghatinam. Nothing will come out of that. And therefore, anyone who is not taking shelter of bhakti process, he will fall down. Somebody may say, Arey, you are telling about Gyanis, but there are many devotees also who also fall. Bharat Maharaj, Indradyumna Maharaj, he became Gajendra. Bharat became Jad Bharat, and then in between deer. Chitraketu became Vritrasur. What about them? You are criticizing Gyanis, but devotees are also falling. Tathanate madhavatavaka kvachit bhrashyanti marga tvai baddha saurida tvaya bhigupta vicharena nirbhaya vinaikani kapamurtha suprabho. The Devtas say, the devotees, they may fall, but na bhrashyanti, they do not fall like Gyanis. Why? Tvai baddha saurida, they are very much attached to your lotus feet. And therefore, tvaya bhigupta vicharena nirbhaya, the devotees will always be protected by the Lord. Therefore, they freely traverse the head of their opponents. They will progress in devotional service. They will never fall down. And whatever you are talking about, the fall of Bharat Maharaj and Indradyumna and Vritrasur, the apparent fall was just to increase their prem, because ultimately they became more refined. As Vritrasur, Chitraketu, he offered such beautiful prayers, So therefore he says devotees never fall down. And then the Devatas, they glorify that you appear in the transcendental body and you create auspiciousness in this world. Ultimately, process of devotional service is the supreme to get your shelter. Then the Lord may say, okay, some people, they think that my body is material, made up of material sattva guna. That is what Mayavadis, they say. Absolute truth, when covered by the mode of goodness, becomes the Lord. Devatas, they say, no, my Lord, your form is not material. You are beyond the modes of material nature and nobody can understand you. Only devotees can understand you. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. Only devotees can understand you. What to speak of your form? Your name is also transcendental. Nanama rupe gunakarma janmaphi nirupatabhye tavastasya sakshinaha. What to speak of your name, your form, your pastimes, everything is transcendental, And then they say, what is the means of realizing the Lord? How to realize the Lord? Then another beautiful verse they speak. Shinvan gidansman smarayan cha chintayan namani rupani cha mangalani te kriyasu yattva charanaaravindayo avishta cheta nabhavaya kalpate. By constantly remembering, by contemplating and chanting the names of the Lord, meditating on the name, form, pastimes of the Lord. Na bhavaya kalpate, if somebody engages his consciousness in these things, he will not have to take birth again. And they say, by your appearance, you remove the burden of the demons and you give pleasure to the devotees, O my Lord. The only cause of your appearance is by your internal potency. Otherwise, there is no cause of your appearance. O my Lord, you appear in various forms like Matsya, Kurma, Vaman, Varaha, Ram, Parshuram. It is only there to show mercy to your devotees. So therefore, O my Lord, please protect us also by diminishing the burden of these demons. We offer our obeisances unto you. After praising the Lord, now Devatas, they see that Devaki is very fearful. So they want to pacify Devaki. So now they are speaking to Devaki. They are saying, oh mother. So now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, why Devatas are calling Devaki as mother? Because Devaki is the mother of the Supreme Lord. So therefore, she deserves to be called as mother by the Devatas. Devatas, they say, oh mother, The Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his expansions, he is there in your womb. You don't have to fear Kamsa, because he will be killed in due course of time. Because Devaki was fearful. She is thinking, I'm afraid of Kamsa. What will happen if he kills this child also? They say, no, he is a Supreme Lord. He will not be able to kill this child. And then in this way, after offering the prayers, Devatas, they return to their abodes. So this is the end of the second chapter. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Anybody has any questions? You can please ask. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So tomorrow we'll not be having class. We'll continue from Wednesday. Hare Krishna.